Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching me from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching me from. Put your city, and I can shout you out. Put your city, and I can shout you out. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching me from in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey user, how are you? I'm not going to be before y'all long today. I just wanted to kind of touch base with day 2 of our financial breakthrough fast. If you don't mind, put your city and shout a couple people out, and then we'll get into it. I'm not going to stay on here long. Hey Gift, good afternoon to you. It's still morning for me. If y'all don't mind, tap the screen. That'll help alert other family members that we are live. We are in day 2 of our 21-day financial breakthrough fast. And I kind of wanted to talk about a couple things. Hey, Charlotte, I kind of wanted to just mention a couple things in regards to this fast. Hey, Mrs. M. So we're on day 2. We're still in the reflection and repentance phase of this fast. And one of the things I want you guys to be mindful of while we're on this fast and in your finances in general is to be mindful of offenses. Be very mindful of being offended. And I'm going to tell you a story about offense and how it could affect your finances. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you guys for joining. All right, I'm going to get into it. People will join when they join. So 2022, I had these 2 clients and I knew them personally, and then I ended up going into business with them, which was wrong of me, but I wanted to look out for them because I knew them, right? And so we started out business okay. We had a contract in place. We started out okay. And then all of a sudden they stopped paying me, right? They stopped paying me for whatever reason. And so what I did was I ended the contract, ended the relationship, just kind of cut them off and stopped talking to them, right? And I moved on with life, right? But I noticed in my finances, things started to get stagnant. Things started to get slow. Money is currency. Currency doesn't stop. But for some reason, the current wasn't currenting, right? And so I said to God, what's up? Like, why all of a sudden my money seems a little funny, right? And he says, you're offended. And he says, because you're offended, it's stopping my hand from moving. It's stopping me. You're going to have to release this offense if you want to get your finances to go back to where they were or to exceed where they were. And so what I had to do, even though I was not wrong, even though I honored my deal of the contract, right? I honored my deal of the contract. They still did what they did. So what I did just to get it off of me, hey Jay, what I did to get it off of me, I sent the lady a text and I said, hey, just want to say that I wish you the best. And I just realized that I was offended because you stopped paying me and you didn't pay me and the situation wasn't handled right. But I let that go and I wish you the blessing of God. And I just gave her a bunch of blessings, right? She never said nothing back. Hey, extra. She never said nothing back and I wasn't expecting nothing back. I was doing it because the Lord told me to do it, to clean up my conscience, right? So they had owed me probably like a few $1,000s. So I did that. And do you know, shortly after that, somebody sold $10,000 into me? The moment I released the offense, $10,000 was at my disposal. Hey, Ashes to Beauty. So my point in telling y'all that story is you can't be in this fast offended at somebody. I don't care what they did. I don't care if you had a bad client. I don't care if you had any of that. You're going to have to let it go. If you want God to move in your finances, you cannot be offended. Good morning, y'all. Thank y'all for joining. You cannot afford to be offended. It cost you something. It cost me my money being stagnant. If my money is stagnant, how do I pay bills? How do I pay my employees at that time, right? I cannot afford to be offended. So I had to let the offense go. Put my pride to the side. And God was showing me that also in that, trust me. Yes, they were your clients, but trust me. Your trust is in me. I am the God of provision. I am the God of provision. So I want y'all to know that. I want y'all to know you cannot afford to be offended on this 21-day fast. You shouldn't be offended, period. So if you're going to have to let some things go, surrender some things to God on today, you're going to have to do it. If you are believing God for financial breakthrough, if you're believing to get rid of the spirit of poverty, lack, hindrances, delay, you're believing God for recovery, whatever you are believing God for in this season, your breakthrough, you cannot afford to be offended. Fast with you started yesterday, and it's been a little bit of a challenge. I was offended, and that's how the enemy would like to move too. He knows our triggers, right? The enemy know I don't play when it comes to money. I don't. That's one thing I don't play games about when it comes to money. If I'm doing a service for somebody, if I'm doing a business for somebody, I honor that all the way through. So one of the things he'll try to get me in is to get me somebody that's a client or get me a customer that's crazy in the head and see how I'll respond. When Hannah was being tempted by Peninnah, provoked by Peninnah, Peninnah kept reminding her, you didn't have a baby yet? You believe in God for a baby? You keep going up to that temple and you didn't have a baby yet? Peninnah was taunting her, mocking her to try to get her to respond. But Hannah did not let that response stop her from praying. I don't know what happened extra. It's like hiding your comments. I don't know why. She didn't allow that to stop her from praying. You can't allow the spiritual attack that you may be going through or an attack that may come as you're doing this fast. You can't allow that to stop you from praying. We're praying 3 times a day throughout this fast. In the beginning of the fast, in the middle, and at the